Hello, everyone. I want to just do what I do best when it comes to taking down this fool, Darrell Brooks. Let's just play this and I will respond accordingly. Here we go.
Other type of disposition that would result in the conclusion of the case. It's the instruction after the verdict is received. So page 107 is not something that will be read today. As indicated yesterday, I will be selecting the alternates by random selection. We'll use the tumbler and select 3 numbers out of that, but that will be done after all of the instructions are read and the parties have an opportunity to give their closing arguments.
Your Honor, accept for value and return for value any documents that you just alluded to. I have not seen them.
Well, you know what? Even though he's saying he didn't see him, that's because he didn't accept them. But where he's going wrong is the judge can say, well, he was issued it. So that's his fault whether he wants to see him or not. As long as it's on record that he was issued it. So he can say all this crap. I accept value in return, value these documents. It doesn't matter. As long as it's on record that they were received. You don't want to read it, that's the hell on you.
Mr. Brooks, if you haven't seen them, that is by your choice. They were provided to you.
Exactly.
I know on multiple occasions yesterday you threw items into the garbage can.
Yeah, get that on the record.
The court retrieved the final jury instructions. I personally didn't. I had someone do it, had them placed on the table this morning, and any other items you threw in the garbage.
So
Hold on. That is so stupid. How you going to say, well, all right, they just presented him with something, right? And then he turns around and says, I accept value in return, and then argues and says, I didn't see him. That's because you returned it, you fuck. How is this going to fly on an interlocutory appeal? I don't think so. And it's on record that they were presented. Brooks, man. He is stupid.
Paperwork that I had to stay here for over an hour for.
So what? So what you had to stay there for an hour? That's just like he complained about being in the holding cell. So what? What's worse? You should be thankful that you were there for an hour, let alone where you were ultimately going to be for the rest of your life. How about that? He complaining about an hour. The hell with an hour? You need to be concerned with that 7,000 years that's coming up. Oh, you know what? Y'all ain't. Just like Darrell was more concerned with the domestic versus what he did at that parade. That was reckless endangerment. Nah, you don't need to. In other words, you don't need to be worried about the domestic. You better worry about them felonies that's coming up, that's stacking up. Y'all ain't saying nothing. This dude is stupid. He's a fool. The dumbest man I've ever seen or heard. Come on, let's get back in here.
I'm going to discuss any further what we did during the jury instruction conference. The jury's going to be brought out a little bit later.
There was a conference. We talking about the proceedings from yesterday, or after you
man.
Told us we recessed
Mr. Brooks.
I'm referring to after
Shut up.
Called recess for the night yesterday. That's what I'm referring to.
All he's doing is trying to keep a conflict going. All right, he knows exactly what she's talking about, but now he's bringing something else in to block what needs to be happening in terms of progression. He knows exactly what he's doing. That is his tactic. Let's go.
I was put in the holding cell for over an hour.
So what?
They said it was some paperwork that needed to be.
That is correct, sir. You were kept there in order for my clerk, who had to finalize 76 verdicts, 2 each, 1 not guilty, 1 guilty, and provide those to the parties. So that's why you were kept there, so those could be handed to you. My understanding is they were. I would need a bailiff to confirm for me whether he took those back to his cell or if they were put on his desk because he left them in the holding cell.
Left them in what holding cell? In here?
Man, Darrell, shut the hell up. You know where you left them at. This ain't nothing but stall and delay. He's trying to throttle what's going on. He's trying to stop this. He's trying to put a monkey wrench in this whole thing. Darrell Brooks is trying to derail what's happening by asking stupid questions. He knows where they were. And unfortunately, Judge Darrell is entertaining this.
I have to look through his paperwork to see if they're on here.
What holding cell are you referring to?
You know where you were.
Behind the door.
I didn't leave anything in that holding cell.
Whatever.
I was just trying to figure out why I was in there so long.
You need to be worried about being in there for 7 million years, man. I know a whole lot of people that would rather be in a holding cell for an hour versus 7 million years. So why is that such an issue? Come on, man. You dumb as fuck.
Yeah. All right, he has those. Thank you.
Is this the paperwork that was just put on my... It was
my
the
God.
paperwork on the desk when I came in. That was on top of my folders.
Mr. Brooks,
Exactly.
I know that you were given the opportunity to take them to your cell because that is what I was advised. Whether you did that or not, I don't know.
And if he did it or not, that's solely on him. That's just like he was presented with something, then he turns around and says, I accept and value in return. And then argues that he didn't see him. Well, that's on you. You were offered it. That's on you. If you left it in your cell, that's on you. Come on, I always say this every time when he questioned Detective Casey. And then the state came back on redirect. And said, well, and questioned Casey about the video. Well, it ain't the court's fault that you didn't see that exhibit in there. That's on you. How you are prepared. Come on, audience. I want y'all to repeat after me and say, however you are prepared is solely on you. And so that meant whether he was prepared or not. That's on him. Can't blame the court for that.
They are also on your desk now.
I accept value in return for value any documents.
See? So if you are saying I accept value in return, then why are you arguing that you don't have it? He doesn't make sense, y'all. I don't understand. Oh God. Maybe he was maybe that was a mental illness. Given like the things that he says, like this, for example, that's a mental illness. What he's doing right now, that's stupid. There's something sick. There's something sickly going on in his mind. The elevator apparently is fragrantly not going all the way upstairs. It's not. It's not. Something's mentally wrong with this man, which I think he shouldn't have been able to represent himself by default of his mental illness.
Discuss all of the jury instructions and the verdicts yesterday.
So what was discussed when I was in the cell for over
There
an hour?
was no discussion, sir. The court was in recess. Madam Clerk was simply finalizing the paperwork based upon the discussion that was held on the record in open court yesterday.
I was told that I had to stay there per you.
So what?
Yes, so that we could provide them to you and you would have an opportunity to take them back to your cell.
But
should you wish
couldn't
to
they have
review
been
them.
delivered to the jail?
Yo, see how he's like deflecting. He's wasting all this time, and Judge Dorrow is just going down that rabbit hole with him. I would have ended it. All right, she is not required to give him any advice. She can advise him not to interrupt, but in terms of legal advice and all this other stuff, that is absolutely unwarranted by the judge. She is not even supposed to be entertaining that. He is flagrantly doing this for the purpose of causing delay. That's all this is. And he's going back and forth with her, back and forth. Watch this, leaving the substance, going round and around and around. He was doing that in the interrogation room, arguing with Carpenter, tried to blame the whole thing on them because he claims that they knew what the situation was the whole time but didn't tell him. So now it's their fault because they didn't explain to him what he knew he already did. Like, come on, man, you don't even make sense. And I love Judge Darrell, but I just didn't like how she was going down that rabbit hole with him. I would have ended it. What he is absolutely saying is without merit. And if it's without merit, that means, what are we talking about this for? I've already ruled on something. If the judge already ruled on something, then that means you bringing it up is unwarranted. It is without merit. If there's a problem, go ahead and make your little interlocutory appeal. It ain't the time for debate. It ain't the time for this back and forth. This is a direct indication that he came with an agenda and a purpose to confuse, throttle, disrupt the whole process, because he knew inevitably what his fate really was. That's why he said he knew from day one what was going to happen. Well, if you knew from day one, then that means everything that you've done in this trial was for the purpose to slow this down, even though you knew it was going to happen. And I would not have entertained it if I had been the umpire in this.
All right. I don't believe there's any other preliminary issues we
There
need
are.
to address other than an advisement I will have for Mr. Brooks. But let me turn to the parties and ask if there's anything preliminary to this phase of the trial, which is the jury instructions, the verdicts, and closing arguments from the state.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Anything else from you,
You
sir?
go a debate again.
Yes, there is.
See, another debate. Here we go.
Yesterday, I stressed to the court numerous times about me not understanding the proceedings.
Oh, why did you represent yourself if you don't understand the proceedings? If I was the judge, I would have stopped them right there. Because they went over incessantly with him his right, that he had the right of waiver of his attorney. He waived his right. So as soon as he said, I don't understand the proceedings, I would have said, I'm not entertaining this. You are not going to disrupt the process by saying something stupid when we incessantly went over this with you before you decided to become a pro se defendant. I would have stopped him right there. Now he's asking something stupid. And then unfortunately, she goes down that rabbit hole with him. Come on.
Essentially how decisions are being made on my behalf without my understanding or giving consent.
The court made various rulings yesterday. I made findings and ultimately made some determinations. I stand behind the record that was made. I'm not going to explain it further.
Exactly.
So a lot of those decisions were made when I was not present in the courtroom. I was in the other courtroom,
That's
correct?
true, sir.
Is that correct?
The record will indicate when those were made and where you were.
I can't.
Right. The record will indicate. So what you trying to say? You think you can win this on appeal? So basically, she's basically saying, okay, yeah, I'll put you over there. And the record will indicate that. And what? And your point. Why were you over there? Why were you in the neighboring courtroom? What was the reason for you? Did I just put you over there for no reason? What warranted as to why you're there? Yeah, let's get that on the record. Let the appellate court, make the appellate court aware of that. Why was he there? Your conduct brought you there.
See the record, though. How am I supposed to know what the record will reflect?
Shut this fool
Sir,
up.
the decisions were made yesterday. I'm not revisiting them today.
They need to be revisited, and it also needs to be talked about. Subject matter jurisdiction that has.
Oh my God!
I'm still trying to understand.
Bullshit!
How you made a judicial determination.
Judge. All right. Listen. At this point, I'm sorry. He is lucky. I was not the judge in this case. This would not be happening. I would not be entertaining this because he is fully aware of everything. He's fully aware of everything. Don't come to me talking about you don't understand. It's too late for that. Your chickens didn't come home. It already didn't came home to roost. Whatever you don't understand is solely on you. No different than how you're prepared. It's solely on you. This is a flagrant waste of time. Judge Darrell does not have to entertain this because the record will already reflect. The record speaks for itself. She doesn't have to explain that. That's why she said, I'm not going to further explain it. So that means there was a history of her explaining it incessantly. So if he doesn't understand, then that's the hell on his dumb ass for wanting to represent himself. And now have buyer's remorse. Oh, no, I don't understand. Child.
On my behalf, which I did not give consent to.
We don't need your consent.
Is you say I forfeited my right to testify.
By conduct.
Which I never did. I never said I wanted to. I never said I didn't want to. But that decision was made for me.
Exactly.
Also, the decision for the defendant.
And you know why that decision was made for you? Because you could never answer directly. So what does that mean? You're going to hold up the court and now we can't move forward because you feel like you don't have to answer when you were given multiple opportunities? And then I'm glad that she did get that on the record so that the Court of Appeals are aware that you were given multiple opportunities. You didn't answer directly. You cannot hold the court hostage just because you don't want to answer directly. That's not how it works. It don't work like that. How dumb are you?
To rest his case was made for me, which I did not consent to, nor did I say I was ready to rest, or nor did I say I was ready to rest.
He thinks that he has more power than the judge, like he is, like he's an autocrat or something. What the hell? Come on!
I'm trying to understand how all these decisions are being made.
How many times does she has to invariably tell him that it is by his conduct that warrants what happens? That his conduct warranted him being in that adjacent courtroom. How many times does she have to keep conveying that to him? And so again, Judge Darrell should not, I would have stopped him right there. At that point, I would have removed him out of the courtroom because we're past that. We're past that. We're past preliminary hearing because it was in preliminary when the charges were read to you. So what do you mean you don't understand the charges? We're past that. I'm sorry. We're past that. And so this is a clear indication of what you're trying to do. And that is to derail what was going on. At that point, Judge Darrell should have excused him into the neighboring courtroom and continued with trial. That's what he didn't want. He didn't want the inevitable to be rapid. He wanted to prolong it.
Without my consent, without me waiting.
Man, shut up! I don't need your damn consent. Who are you? You ain't shit.
I'm not understanding how because none of my answers were unresponsive. I just didn't answer
Man,
the way
shut
that Your
up.
Honor wanted me to answer, but I stressed yesterday.
Shut up.
If I don't understand something, how am I supposed to answer a question that I don't understand fundamentally? It's not.
Well, wouldn't it make sense to keep on Attorney Perry if you didn't understand? Like, come on. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. Ignorance is not a defense. Ignorance is not a defense. So what are you saying? If you don't understand, it would have made more sense to keep on Attorney Perry. So where are you going with this? This is circular. This is wasting time. This is thwarting. This is derailing what's supposed to be happening. What's supposed to be happening is Judge Dorrow needs to get to the process of reading the jury instructions to them. He's delaying that process by asking and saying stupid things that he's already abreast of. That's why the judge said, I'm not going to further comment on it. You've already been made aware. That's on you.
He's saying yes or no, and it's not me saying, okay, I want to waive this or that right.
Oh my God.
And I'm not trying to
Man, shut up.
With you in any way. I'm just seeking to understand how these decisions are made.
Judge. If I was Judge Darrell, I wouldn't even answer that. I would say, this will be a tacit agreement. I'm not answering that, given that we've already talked about that. He should have been removed at that point. If he would have interrupted after that, he should have been removed. She does not have to answer that.
I'm letting the court know, and I'm putting the court on notice, hey, I don't understand this or I don't understand that.
Oh well. You at your own peril.
Any other things? Otherwise, I'm prepared to address each one of those.
Yeah, but she doesn't have to address it, given that it was already addressed on the record. He did this at his own peril. So whatever he doesn't understand means nothing. So what? You did this at your own risk, your own peril, your own stupidity, basically.
There was a mention of
oh my God.
If there is a conviction in this matter, there is a mention of
there's going to be a conviction.
Sentencing, which I'm assuming there'll be some type of
Man, shut up! Hurry up and get it
people
out.
may want to speak. I know if there is a conviction on my half, people would definitely want to.
That's a damn lie, because nobody showed up to speak on your behalf but your stupid mother and your grandmother, the Wicked Witch of the West. She was trying to make money. That was her whole point on there. Using what you did to boost her ratings. And you too dumb to know that, but then you want to go after the witnesses talking about, oh, they use this to try to benefit for financial gain. And you don't even know your grandmother was doing the same thing. By plugging her book, you dumb fool. So stupid.
Address the court.
Ooh, he got me going. I'm sorry.
There'll be a lot of affairs that need to be put in order, obviously on my side.
What affairs?
If it pleases the court.
What affairs? You want to put away what you do? Get your affairs. You know what his affairs is? His affairs is crime. Every time he's out on the street, what is he doing? He's involved in a crime. And so this is why during when those verdicts were read, that was the best part of that trial, because that was a clear indication that he will no longer be able to commit any further crimes anymore, giving his long custodial status. Because having in those 7,000 years is a long ass time. I know that. High five your David say, I know that's right. Put this animal away.
Is a conviction in this matter, I would like the sentencing to not be so quick.
See?
I'm asking if it pleases the court for
So not
the
only
sentencing to be held off until a later time.
so that's all right. So that's letting us know that he already knows that there is going to be a conviction, and so now, even though I'm delaying the trial, but I need to delay the conviction. I need to delay the sentencing hearing. See, he already knew. Watch this. He already knew from day one, y'all. Ain't that what he said? And I believe that he knew from day one based off of the rap video. Because what was he singing? What was he rapping about? I'ma pull up on ya. I'ma pull up on ya. I'ma pull up on ya. He knew from day one what he was going to do. Just like he knows the inevitable. That's why he keeps on talking about if there's a conviction. You know he know there's going to be a conviction. Everybody knows there's going to be a conviction. We just got to get through the process. That's all. His days were numbered. He knew they were numbered. That's why he was trying to slow this thing down. Why do you think he wanted to be held in contempt? Because that's further delay. Ooh.
I'm not a day or two or a week, just so that affairs can be put in order properly, and so that the people that want to come in and speak will have the opportunity to address the court.
I think
If
that's
that
a fair
pleases-
request, sir.
If that pleases.
I think that's a fair request. I thought about that and some more overnight, that in the event
Yeah,
there-
but she didn't grant him that. She didn't grant him that. She got on with that, as she should, because this whole trial did not commence until a year later after the attack. I'm not gonna call it no incident because there's been a conviction. So now I could say unequivocally that it was an attack. This trial ensued a year post that attack. And so why would Judge Darrell further the sentencing? Hell no, we're not granting that. Are you crazy? Oh.
a conviction that I would like to give the parties an opportunity to do that. I have no idea how many people would want to speak. My inclination would be, again,
Nobody coming up there.
This is not set in stone. If there is a conviction on any of these counts, I may ask the parties to just come back in on Monday, October 31st with kind of a proposed plan of how many people do you think will speak on your behalf, how long do you think it will take, so that I can look at my calendar and then set aside the appropriate amount of time. I certainly don't.
And if you notice, wait a minute, if you notice, the only people that spoke was what? The girl. She might have had a mental illness too, because I don't know how she could speak good on Darrell Brooks. Come on now. Maybe she had a mental illness. All right, his mother and his grandmother. That's it. And if you notice, nobody physically came to court. But that makes sense. Why would anybody physically come into court on his behalf when you basically got that entire courtroom against him? It would have been a riot in there. So they were smart enough not to show up. They know what he did was wrong. They knew he was guilty. It didn't make sense to show up. And so that's a fair request that he's making, but in reality, or in theory, that's not what happened. I didn't see a whole lot of people talking on his behalf. Oh Lord.
Want to rush anything, and I think that's a fair request that you're making.
Thank you.
But it ain't gonna matter.
All right.
Nobody showed up on his
with all
behalf.
of that, then, sir, subject matter jurisdiction, I decline to address that further. I stand by the written decision that I've made previously. As far as the rulings made yesterday regarding your ability or inability to present further testimony and witnesses, and to testify yourself. The court did make various rulings and findings that you had forfeited your right to do so by conduct. I'm not going to further explain the law or these prior rulings to you. I stand behind them.
You notice that she said, I'm not going to further explain. That means she doesn't have to. That's not her job as umpire. She's not his attorney. She's not representing him. So whatever he doesn't understand, once again, is solely on him. So he can't say, this is not fair. What the hell? Like, I know, listen, y'all, this might be controversial, what I'm getting ready to say. I know that Judge Darrell, had took, I won't say the word, hold on, y'all, I don't even know how I got lost. Wait a minute. Somebody must have called me as I was on this. Let's flip this back around. All right. Somebody interrupted with a phone call. Listen, I know that Judge Darrell took the advice of doctors, people that know what's going on with Darrell Brooks. The people that gave her the okay, that they felt it was okay for him to represent himself. But you know what? There's definitely a mental illness. Come on. It's all across the board. There's a mental illness. I mean, even when you look at the interrogation, I mean, this man just committed the most heinous, horrific crime. And he's in there joking as if, just nonchalantly joking, as if this never happened. His focus was more domestic, because in his mind, reckless endangerment never happened. It was like, F what I did, that don't even matter. I'm concerned with the domestic. Now let me ask you a question. There's something got to be mentally wrong with him for him to even think like that. Why would anybody be concerned about something that is basically minor compared to reckless endangerment? All those people he killed. Why would he think a domestic is more to be concerned about? That is a clear indication that something is mentally wrong. There's something wrong with his mind to even think like that. And I know that she listened to the different doctors that evaluated him and gave her the okay in terms of his decision wanting to represent himself. And I'm not a doctor, but I mean, come on. You can clearly see that there was something mentally wrong with him to be thinking like that. For him to be laughing and joking after all that went down, there's something there's something mentally wrong, man. And I'm not saying that as an excuse for him not to serve his time. No, but shit, the hell, but by all means, he need to be in jail. But there is a mental illness with him as well. And it's clearly evident through the duration and the course of this tribunal. Let's dive back in.
And I believe I made a very, very clear record. So to the extent that you are asking me to reconsider any of that,
Denied.
That's how I would interpret your statements here today. I decline to do so.
Thank you.
So, Your Honor, would that be,
oh my God.
it's still not, I have no understanding to, why was
Judge Darrell needs to be stopping this. Okay, I've made my ruling. If you don't like it, take it on the pill. He interrupts again. All right, final warning. You interrupt again, you're going to the neighboring courtroom because I need to continue with the jury instructions. You're in the way right now, saying some dumbass shit. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, y'all. You're in the way. I'm trying to get through this process. You are definitely in the way.
given the opportunity to place certain things into evidence. I have virtually nothing.
You don't exactly. You have no evidence.
Nothing. Zero.
You have no evidence.
Evidence that I was able to place into evidence. Nothing.
Right.
I disagree with that, sir. You called, I think, 9 witnesses on your behalf on various issues, including the honking of the horn, the window tinting. You cross-examined many of the state's witnesses about police barricades and the presence of police.
Exactly.
So you did present evidence.
I'm speaking to the terms of everything that Your Honor asked me to do. You told me to put everything that I needed to present to the court in writing. You made that ruling. You told me that's what.
And guess what? Watch this. In her defense, if he tries to take this on appeal, watch this. In her defense, she ain't supposed to be advising him anyway. So where you going with this? She's the judge. You need a lawyer, you dumb fool.
I needed to do. I did that.
Mr. Brooks, you may have interpreted that. I did not require you to do that. As far as evidence in the case, I very expressly told you there are rules of procedure and rules of evidence that govern exhibits, testimony, witnesses, etc. What I told you is that any requests that you have related to the case, if it's a motion, be put in writing. I specifically referenced the statute 80201 regarding how a motion is made and what it should contain, meaning it has a very express request for relief and states the law and the facts upon which the request is being made.
So now that basically means that he had a misinterpretation of what she said, and then he can't argue and say that, well, she told me something and I did it wrong, because she's technically not allowed to even give him advice anyway. So that's on him. She's not his attorney. Don't you understand that they were actually trying to help him? Even the prosecution, they were acutely abreast and or aware of his custodial status. The state didn't have to help him, but given his custodial status, given the limitation of being in custody, it is extremely intricate for Darrell Brooks to call in witnesses. And then he criticized the state, talking about, did I ask them for any help? Did I ask them? Well, how are you going to call the witnesses in if they didn't assist? Woo! All right, my blood, my blood pressure is boiling, y'all. Woo! It just makes me want to come through this. Well, my cell phone, because I'm recording from the cell phone. Oh my God. This man makes me extremely upset. He does. And it's and like I told y'all before, it's hard. It's hard, like reliving all of this and going back and watching the trial and then making another video, because it disturbs my spirit. It puts me back in that mode again, like, oh, I want to get him. And then I'm brought back to reality and say, well, you know, he was convicted. They got him. Calm down. But just revisiting this just makes my blood boil. Let's go back into this.
Again, I'm not going to revisit the prior rulings. I stand behind them. And to the extent that the record does not have, meaning the record before the jury and the evidence does not have certain pieces of information, evidence or testimony that you wanted to present, you forfeited that opportunity yesterday based upon your conduct.
How did I forfeit the opportunity?
Again,
now we're going back. See, he's wasting time doing this. She already made that ruling. Now, how did I forfeit? Now trying to make another debate about this. He's trying to evade. I mean, it's clearly evident, man. I mean, if you don't see that. But what I don't like is that, unfortunately, Judge Dorrow keeps going down that rabbit hole with him. All right. If she said, I'm not going to further explain, then that should be what it is. So whatever he doesn't understand, all right, move on. Put him in the neighboring courtroom. This is disruptive. We're trying to move forward, not circular.
Visit that. So what I will tell you is this.
How did I forfeit
This
the
jury is
opportunity
here.
Shut up!
to be able to place into evidence
Mr. Brooks,
things
I'm
that
not
need
going to debate this further.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm not
asking
trying to debate. I'm
you
trying to understand.
To respect the fact that I've made rulings.
Your Honor, that's you
It's
made
not my
it.
job
Remove
to
him.
explain them
You made
to
it.
you.
I'm not asking you to explain.
Judge Dorrow, just remove him. You told him that you're not going to further explain. Okay, that's the end of it. He needs to be gone. Come on.
anything. You're misinterpreting what I'm trying to.
No, you're misinterpreting. You've never went to law school. You're not an attorney. You're misinterpreting what she's trying to tell you. And you know you are. But you're doing this as a tactic. Judge Dorrow, stop going down the rabbit hole. Get this asshole out of the courtroom. We need to move on with jury instructions.
I'm to tell you. You're
Man, the hell with you. Shut up.
With all due respect, Your Honor.
Ain't no damn respect.
When you tell me.
Judge Dorrow, cut this off. Because all he going to do is keep going on and on and on and on and on and on. Around in a circle. We keep going round and around and around. We're not going nowhere with this.
This is what you need to do.
Shut up. What do you mean this is what you need to do? She technically doesn't have to tell you anything. Her job is to keep order in the courtroom.
Take it by what you're telling me that I need to do. If I needed to make anything request-wise or anything
You need to go to hell.
that I needed to present to the court, it has to be in writing. You told me to do that. I did it.
She
You
already went over this. He misinterpreted what she told him. She's already addressed this. Why are we relitigating this? Why are we having this conversation? Why?
also brought up when I asked numerous times before when would I have a chance to present things into evidence. You told me we were not at the evidentiary phase
Judge
of the
Darrell,
trial yet.
please
So
cut
I
this
took
off.
that as saying, okay, well, at some point I will have the opportunity to place things into evidence that need to be put in evidence for the record.
Oh my God. You had a misinterpretation of what she said. She's already told you that. She already explained to you. So now we're going to waste more time so she can explain it or further explain when she already said that she wasn't going to further explain. But you want to keep going round and around and around and around, and then she want to keep going down that rabbit hole. Come on.
I'm not understanding.
So what? You don't understand.
A decision can be made for me to actually forfeit being able to.
Because you're not an attorney, apparently. You don't know the rules. You don't know how it works. Yes, you can forfeit your right by conduct.
Things into the record that need to be placed into the record. All these things are things that, quite frankly, allow me to put on a defense. Things that need
Judge,
to be
shut him up.
that should be in the record, as far as filings, as far as ICFs that I was
Shut your mouth.
by you to address certain.
Why
ICFs.
is Judge Darrell entertaining this? Why? I would have interjected by removing him. You're wasting my time. We need to get on with the proceedings. This is BS. Y'all know it.
either to you or to the clerk of courts, which I did.
Judge Darrell,
And
stop it.
received
Cut it
copies
off.
For all of them except until last week. It was a few of them that I didn't receive copies for that I'm still wondering why I haven't received those copies when I received the copies of all the ones before that. But And in terms of that, I did what Your Honor asked me to do. And these are things that were part of my defense that needed to be placed into the record. So where my confusion comes in
he's
is
got a
not
hairline.
being able to place those things into the record. Things
Mr.
that
Brooks, I'm
things
gonna
that
cut you off
clearly help my
because
defense.
I stand by my ruling. I'm not revisiting it. To the extent that you claim lack of understanding or your lack of consent, it's been made abundantly clear on this record, your position on that. I'm not revisiting it. I'm further advising you that when this jury comes out,
Exactly.
I expect that you will honor the decisions that were made, not agree, but you will honor them and not interrupt the court
Thank you.
for these proceedings as I instruct the jury.
So how am I supposed to put these things in the record that need to be?
Oh my
in the
God.
Mr. Brooks, I'm well aware of the effect my ruling had, and I'm not going to debate it with you further.
I just want to know how am I supposed to
Shut
get
the
these
hell
things
up, man. Get your, oh my God. Oh, I'm getting upset. I'm getting mad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed at, you know what? I'm pissed at him and I'm pissed at her. Because she has said incessantly, I'm not going to further debate. He should have been gone. He should have been in that other courtroom. Come on. Come on now.
record? How am I supposed to? Because the
We're going
filings
back
that
and
I
forth.
gave, you actually filed and gave me the copies back. So are those in the record?
Mr. Brooks, I'm no longer
I'm just
going to
seeking to
talk about
understand.
this.
I'm just seeking to understand.
Mr. Brooks, I cannot explain procedure or evidence
The filings that
or
I
the
filed.
rulings or
I'm
the
asking a
law
question,
to
Your Honor.
you.
I'm merely asking a question. The filings that I presented to Your Honor.
Any filings
For
with
the
this
court.
court are in the court record. That does not mean they're evidence, sir. And I told you
That's
that
not what I'm
previously.
asking. I'm asking, are the filings part of the record?
Darrell, shut the hell up.
Were filed and timestamped that were notarized.
Judge Dorrow, he's oh my God, like oh, Judge Dorrow. No, I would have not allowed this. And I know she was walking on eggshells. I know why she didn't want to gag him. I understand that. But this, no. The Court of Appeals, they would have understood. They would know what was going on. Everything was on the record. They know what he's trying to do. He should have been removed. He should have been ousted. He got a removed hairline, so why can't remove him from the courtroom? His hairline is apparently removed. That's why I was trying to make one. Y'all see this in here? Let me try to put a hairline in there so he can have a hairline.
That I presented to the court. All the filings. The appearance bonds.
Oh, get him out.
The
Get him
statement
out.
of particulars. The notice of special appearance. The court docket sheet.
Everything he's saying is absolutely irrelevant and or without merit.
Her oath of office. Everything that I tried to present into the record. How am I not able to make?
Why are we still talking about this?
Sir, they were filed because you presented them to the court during the course of this case. Anything that was not offered as an exhibit and received during the evidentiary phase is not evidence in this trial.
Now,
That's what
y'all know. Now you know this. Now she didn't already explain it. Now he comes back to say something else, and now we're going down a tangent. We're going back and forth. We're leaving the substance. I did not like this. I love Judge Dorrow, but I didn't like that she kept going down that rabbit hole with him. I don't like that. If I was the umpire, that would have never happened.
Attempted to do, and you told me that I couldn't.
Man, get him out of the courtroom.
I am bringing this jury
Your
out.
Honor.
Shut your mouth.
You told me that we were not at the evidence. When
Get
I
him
said
out,
I had,
Judge.
exhibits as well.
Shut him up.
That I want to put into the record. I even asked. I said,
Mr.
may I
Brooks,
give an offer?
Please, please.
Offer into evidence.
I can't take this.
I'm going to stop
these
you
things.
once again. I'm not going to have this discussion and debate.
Exactly.
The evidentiary phase of this trial is
It's
closed.
over.
It
We
should
are
not
now
be, though,
at the
Your
jury.
Honor.
I understand your lack of consent. Your
So
objection
when would I
is
be able to
noted
put?
for the
When would
record.
I be able to put vital information
God.
into the record, which I haven't had the opportunity?
Judge.
That opportunity has closed for you, sir.
It's
So
close.
so you saying basically you're prejudicing my defense.
Oh my God.
By me not being able to present.
Judge, why don't you just have the bailiffs remove him? We have wasted, how long I've been on here? Almost 50 minutes. And we're going around and around in a circle. She can't even get past or try. She can't even bring the jury in because he keep asking stupid stuff. Things that are irrelevant. Things that if he needed to know, he should have kept his attorney on. Talking about, when will I be able to present evidence? If you was an attorney, you would already know that. But you're clearly not. So that's not the court's fault.
Things into evidence, offering to evidence, filing
Judge,
important
stop
paperwork and
this.
documents.
Mr. Brooks, and you
How am I
forfeited
not-
your right to do that by your conduct yesterday, and I stand behind
How many
that
times she
decision.
said that?
I
I'm going to
asked
do the
before
following,
yesterday,
sir.
Your Honor.
I'm going to do the
before
following.
Get him out.
You have not honored my request to you that you cease debating me on prior
Thank
I'm
you.
not
meetings
trying
of
to
the
debate.
court.
I'm trying to understand
Get him
why my
out.
due process is being violated.
Mr. Brooks, the record speaks for itself.
No, the record
I am
does
going
not.
to take
it
a
does not.
5-minute
Yeah,
recess.
take a break. Yeah, get him
When
out.
I come back out, the jury will also be coming out. I'm advising you, there will be no multiple opportunities where I give you to conform your conduct to the rules of decorum
Well, then
and courtesy.
just hold me in contempt,
You-
then, Your Honor.
You are
Hold me in
hereby
contempt.
Oh,
advised
no.
I'm trying to
that if
seek to
you
understand.
start talking about subject matter jurisdiction or any of these other
It
issues,
needs to be addressed,
or
Your
in
Honor. Subject matter jurisdiction.
The
We're
reading of
talking
the jury
about why
instruction.
Yeah, he's just
why
trying
my
to do
due
this.
process
I
has
will
been violated.
excuse the jury and you will be removed
Your
to
Honor,
the other courtroom.
We're talking
Get
about
him out.
the 14th Amendment.
Get him out. Get him out. Get out of the courtroom now. Get out of the damn courtroom. Shut your mouth. Stupid fool. All right, so he was finally removed from the courtroom. I think Judge Darrell should have did that 30 minutes ago. All right, because he was clearly doing this to try to stop the process of the jury coming in to ascertain their instructions. That's exactly what was happening. Back and forth. She said, I'm not going to have this back and forth. You have to cease from debating. But he knew what he was doing because, again, that was his tactic. That was his plan. He knew that all along. I just didn't like that Judge Darrell kept feeding into it. The minute he did that, the minute he started going into that, he would have been ousted from that courtroom. Trust me, if I was litigating that. And then what makes me upset was he would always find ways to try to get back into the courtroom just to do the same thing over again and then be put out. Talking about he couldn't hear. Well, why did you take the headphones off if you can't hear? That audio was turned up because the judge was even able to hear the bailiffs talking to him back there. I don't know. I didn't really like the way Judge Darrell was handling that part of it because I think that she was going down that rabbit hole with him. She did not have to answer. She did not have to do that at all. Particularly if it was already or previously addressed. He just wanted to debate to further delay the process. That's all it was. She could have expedited that and said, no. And could have had him in that neighboring courtroom and allowed him to remain over there so she can promptly do her job without interruptions. Because every time he came in the courtroom, what was he doing? He came in there with an agenda. She gave him opportunity after opportunity. And then there was one part where she asked him to make a pledge. And he went around that. And she still allowed him back in the courtroom. Watch this. In the absence of a pledge. And what did he do? Came right in. Same stuff. Asking about stuff she done already ruled on. Trying to debate her on rulings. And then she talking about case law and all this kind of stuff. A lot of that was unnecessary. Let's dive back in. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just getting upset. All right, so we're back. We're back on the record.
Seated, the jury is.
Here we go.
Your Honor.
See, he's back at it
That has
again.
yet to be proven for the record.
The same bullshit.
And upon your refusal, that would be looked at as dishonor.
I'm not addressing it. The jury's coming out.
What the hell is he talking about this on?
So is that a
So I guess when he punched Erica Patterson and black in her eye, I guess that was being honorable, right? Yeah, that was honor. Sheesh.
agreement?
Oh my God.
That you don't have to answer any questions as a public servant, Your Honor.
See,
Therefore,
watch this. Judge Darrell, at this point, like I said, he should have already been removed in the neighboring courtroom, even before this. She doesn't have to take this. The jury's coming in, and I understand that she's trying to keep him in there basically for his benefit because she's trying to reduce or minimize his actions in front of them. But he's not helping by doing this. Does that make sense?
then that's dishonor. Are you going to honor your oath of office?
Stand. I'm not addressing it
Are
further.
you going to honor your oath of office?
Get him out of the courtroom. I would tell the jurors, hold on, y'all. Get them out. Let's get Mr. Brooks out of the courtroom so that way we can properly get these jurors in here so I can effectively go over the jury instructions without interruptions. That's how she should have handled that. She should have not allowed him to keep going like this as they're coming in if she's trying to minimize his abysmal behavior in front of him.
So I'll take that as a tacit agreement.
Mr. Brooks, I warned you that if you made any interruptions when they came out, you would be removed to the courtroom.
Remove them!
That's what I'm doing right now. You're forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom unless you can promise me right now you'll respect the prior rulings of this court and not...
Judge Dorrow, he's not going to promise. He's not going to make a pledge. Watch this. I bet you he's going to try to debate her on what she just said. Watch this. So now we further delay. Here we go.
Interrupt this next phase of the trial, which is the court reading the jury instructions without interruption from you. Can you do that?
Have I acted in dishonor, Your Honor?
See, he's not even
Mr.
answering.
Brooks, I very expressly warned you.
Have I acted in dishonor?
You have disobeyed a direct...
Judge Dorrow, stop answering questions from him that you didn't ask him. He didn't answer you. So don't answer about is he acting in dishonor. He can't even answer your direct question. And given that he needs to be removed rather than going down a rabbit hole with him. Come on.
From this court.
Have I acted in dishonor?
Get him out,
You have
Judge.
disrupted these proceedings.
I have not disrupted these.
Get him out,
You
Judge.
pledge to me that when this jury comes back out, that
He's not going to do that, Judge Dorrow. Don't you understand? He's not going to do that. You need to remove him, given the history of his disruptions.
you will remain silent and not reference things like subject matter jurisdiction, the court's oath of office, tacit agreements, or anything. Can you pledge that you will respect these proceedings and this jury by not interrupting?
Have I acted in dishonor, Your Honor?
Get
I
him
will
out.
ask you one more time. Can you pledge to be quiet,
He's not,
sir?
Judge.
Why should I? Why
Here we
should I
go.
have to make
Here
a
we go.
pledge, Your Honor? Have I acted in dishonor?
Because under Illinois versus Allen, I believe you've already forfeited your right to be here, but you can.
See, she keeps answering him, and he's finding something else to try to make a debate out of this. Does she not understand what he's doing? Judge, get this fool out of the courtroom now.
Claim that as soon as you are willing to conduct yourself consistently with the decorum and respect inherent in these proceedings, which at this point in the proceedings, sir, all I am doing is reading through the final jury instructions. I do not want that.
And all he's doing is debating with you. Watch, he debates this. Here we go.
Process interrupted by statements by you that are frankly misstatements of the law.
If they're misstatements of the law, Your Honor, how come they haven't been proven for the record?
Here we go.
I'm asking, have
All
I
right,
acted
he
in
refuses
dishonor?
to
Get him
answer
out.
the
Have I
questions.
acted in
I have
dishonor,
given
Your
him
Honor?
an ample
Get him out.
opportunity to do so. He has forfeited his right to be present for the reading of the jury instructions, and
fool
he is to
outta
be
here.
removed to the neighboring courtroom. We will be in recess
Get
until
him
that
out.
takes place.
Your Honor, have
Bye.
I
Shut up.
acted in dishonor?
Shut your mouth. Stupid fool. All right, so I'm not going to further this anymore. And then I didn't like this part of the trial because the judge kept bringing him back. He would do the same thing, go back, and kept doing it invariably. I just didn't like that she kept going down a tangent with him. She was following him into that rabbit hole. I wouldn't have done it. Me personally, I would not have done it that way. If he can't answer directly, we're moving on. We're not having a debate. We are not having a debate. Listen, y'all. Oh, wow, we didn't win an hour on here. Well, listen, I want everybody to like, share. Thank you for the new subscribers that have subscribed to this channel. I got to calm down, y'all, because I'm literally mad. Like my blood pressure is through the roof. I got to calm down. He angers me. He angers me. And I just felt that Judge Darrell might have went a little too far with that leeway. All right, she was giving him a lot of leeway. There was even a part of the trial where he had interrupted Attorney Opera and she hadn't even finished. And the judge gave him leeway. He kept going even though it wasn't even his turn to speak. She hadn't even finished. Attorney Woodall didn't finish. Remember, she said, "Let him finish. Let him finish." That's when Attorney Woodall, Zach, he was getting him. And beat him over the head with a bat. He was just waiting in the wings for him. And talked about his involvement as being a child predator, that he's on the registry. So, with how you gonna come up here and try to make Erica Patterson look bad? For what? You don't have the wherewithal to even do that. Given your history. Given you being a pedophile. I know that's right. All right. Listen, I want you to like, share, and continue to support the channel. We love you. Thank you.